This is a series I called Mirror Gaze. So it's mostly partial nude men, and some of the men are touching. I started studying under Noah Lane about a year ago. So these pieces are mostly about the gender politics of representation in art. So I'm interested in starting a conversation about how art is mostly produced for the consumption of straight men, and so I thought I'd literally put the mirror up to the gaze of men and say this is what men look like vulnerable. I was basically literally putting a spotlight on them. So all of them are lit very harshly. I was interested to find that in recruiting models, most of the amateur models that I found were very uncomfortable in front of being posed. So I thought that almost played into it. And so we have also themes of isolation and discomfort that arose naturally from the creation process of putting the show together. I thought that was really exciting. So part of it was planned, and part of it exposed itself. And I think that's a lot of what gender politics is a duality of intentional domination and subjugation, intentional political aspects that are set up on purpose by people, and also naturally arising out of a society. And those need to be discussed. And I hope to bring that conversation along. So with regard to the detail in the paintings, I believe the artist's job is to use their eyes to see the world in a distinct way and then show people what they see. And because I'm interested especially in the male gaze, I have this perspective as a man to show people what I look at. In specific in these paintings, I picked a detail of anatomy for each man I was painting, and I wanted to show that when we look at someone, especially a body, especially skin exposed, that something draws our eye. I also think it's the artist's job to curate the visual world. So I deliberately left some parts of the paintings blurry and some parts sharp in focus, because that's my job. If I was depicting everything literally, then I'm not telling you what to look at. I am unashamedly didactic. I love challenging my viewer with, this is my intention, this is what I'm looking at, look at it too. Let's look at the same thing. And that's how I think conversations get started. So for the backgrounds, I left them almost completely empty. There's some light and shadow to guide the eye, but mostly I'm interested in depicting a literal isolation of the figures. So I left them empty to show that they're not connected to anything. Any touch there is between the figures is an uncomfortable touch. They're alone.